Hey, this is Alan Fine. I'm at the Fiji Tourism Exchange with Allison Hayworth, the Executive Chair for Captain Cook Cruises. Listen, you want small trip access to Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa as well. This is authentic and remote experiences, luxury expedition cruising that can compete against anywhere, including Tahiti. We're going to talk about that here on Insider Travel Report. So listen, I was learning about your product. I've been hearing about it for a long time, actually. What's the history of Captain Cook?
Well, I mean, Captain Cook originally was started by my parents in Sydney Harbour in 1970 with one boat.
Really?
And we sold our Australian business a few years ago and just have Fiji left in the family. And so what I've done in the last 12 months is really transform the cruise offering in Fiji. So we've brought luxury expedition cruising to Fiji in a way it's never been here before. So all of a sudden, with MS Caledonian Sky arriving, there she is.
So I also want to know, how did it arrive? Where'd you find it? But keep going.
So we've been pioneering small ship cruising in Fiji for many years, and we've been exploring the remote locations with our previous ship. And we also have a private island, and we do sunset dinner cruises and day sails. So we have a lot of different product. But with the arrival of Caledonian Sky, we've brought a luxurious level of expedition cruising on the beautiful ship with our 10 expedition leaders who are all Fijian. And that's a very important part of the offering that we have. And something pretty unique in the world, I think, that we're taking people out to places that have never been visited before. What I'm trying to do here is open up remote Fiji for the first time ever. So there are villages that we have included in our programs that have never had tourists visit them before. I was on our inaugural Southern Lao cruise, which goes out about halfway to Tonga, right out into the remote islands of Fiji. And a couple of these villages have, as I said, never had tourists. It's a very overwhelming experience to go ashore in these beaches and visit these villages. Kids are just so excited to see us. The authenticity of the experience it's overwhelming.
But let me just interrupt and just say it's not easy to get the acceptance of a village to allow you to even come in. You have to be vetted, so to speak.
Well, that's 100% correct. And with my Fijian partner, we have a very long history of strong relationships in Fiji, in these villages. So we're going to but prior to COVID, we used to do 2 11-night cruises into the remote areas on our previous ship. Following COVID and the arrival of Caledonian Sky, we're doing a 7-night itinerary every week. So we're going to some of the places that we have been to before, plus some new places. So we've expanded it. So every Saturday there's a 7-night cruise. Very easy. We designed it. Been around for a while in the travel industry. We love our trade partners. Make it easy for them, right?
You have shorter and longer.
Right, but we designed it so it's easy for the travel professional. Every Saturday there's a cruise, and it comes back on Saturday, and it just each week of there's a different cruise per month. So there's 4 different departures each month. Repeat the next month. Northern Lao, remote north. Mamanuca-Yasawa, Southern Lao. And the Mamanuca-Yasawa itinerary is also a 3+4. So once a month there's an opportunity for a shorter cruise than 7 nights. And then twice a year we take some longer ones. So we go 14 nights through the southern Lao Islands out to Tonga. So half the time is spent swimming with whales and whale watching in Tonga. And then 14 nights back. And then once a year to Samoa. The same thing, 14 nights there, 14 nights back. So we're really sort of covering the Pacific in a really culturally sensitive way, very respectfully, just visiting these villages in a lovely way where we can help a little bit, where passengers always they always ask, what can we take? We take books, reading glasses, big bras.
Listen, you definitely paint a beautiful picture, but your conveyance, let's talk about the luxury expedition aspect and how you found the craft and what you did to it to make it be what it is now.
Look, the Caledonian Sky is a lovely ship. She's not a new ship, but she's a beautiful ship, has a lovely feel. She's club style, lots of timber paneling and brass. And when we brought her to Fiji, I wanted her to be a very I wanted to have a really earthy Fijian feel. So we carefully curated Fijian art all the way through. We commissioned tapa from the most famous places like Fatulele, which is on our Southern Lao itinerary, is the famous place in Fiji for tapa, which is the painted natural. Yep, you know that one. Yes. Very good. And then the tapa artist, who's very well known in Fiji, who did the Tourism Fiji logo, we commissioned her also to do some tapa for us. So that's throughout the ship. We have weavings from the famous ladies in Rambi and also in Kiowa, also the places for weaving. And then old historic black and white photographs we source from museums in the region. So the ship has a lovely feel about it, a very Fijian, but also the sort of club style. Very comfortable. Rooms are very spacious, timber-lined, private balconies.
So 57 rooms. Classes? What kind of suite class?
Well, so we have different room categories. The cheapest room on the ship is actually the largest room. Portholes, windows, then, as I said, 2 decks worth of private balconies. And that's the winner. When you come back, you go, a typical day on Caledonian Sky is optional, not for everyone, 7:30 ocean swim. Us Aussies, we like a bit of, exercise swimming in the morning. 7:30 ocean swim, 9 o'clock snorkeling or beach visit, or village visit, depending on the day. You might go to a school. There might be a morning hike. Back on board, or there might be a glass-bottom kayak tour with the marine biologists, only 4 of you, and then back on board, a talk from a marine biologist, one of our expedition team, or a cultural expert, or one of the navigators. Maybe we'll talk about sharks, or manta rays, or the history of navigation in the Pacific, or whatever else.
And the guests can do as much or as little as they want.
Or as little. So you can be action-packed, even jump off to the gym if you want, have a massage, whatever. Or just lie on your private, deck and relax and read your book, or a beach, or go scuba diving, or go surfing.
And you're well equipped with 10 Zodiacs.
Yeah, 10 expedition team, 10 Zodiacs, lots of toys, paddle boards, glass-bottom kayaks.
And the entertainment is biologists.
Yeah, lots of talks. So every day at 11:45 there's a lecture, but then we do the recaps and precaps at night. So there's a lot of, without being in your face and too much, there's plenty of opportunities. There's the notice boards with information. You're being driven around by the experts. And I think the magical thing about what we're doing here is we've got Fijian expedition team who are educated at the University of the South Pacific. They'll tell you about, some technical nature of, as I said, sharks, or the latest thing with coral bleaching, or whatever it is in their talk, and then they'll say, come to the village this afternoon and meet my auntie. I'm from here. It's 24 hours steaming from where we boarded, and there's almost nothing in between, but you'll meet my family. It's pretty powerful stuff. And particularly in an area that is not serviced by aircraft or ferries, there's a supply barge once a month. And a lot of these villages have almost no contact.
You're bringing them supplies. You're bringing them things.
We do. Yeah, we support them, and we support the villages, and we encourage our guests, because what often happens is our guests ask us, what can we bring? And so they'll bring reading books, and rugby balls, of course, are always a winner, and netballs for the girls. Not that that's popular in America, but...
So, but it's interesting. A lot of our travel advisors, they really want to know about the hardware. We don't really have time, but we're going to send them to your website, and they could see what you've done to it, and they can get all their answers there. Where should they be going?
Well, our website, www.captaincookcruisesfiji.com. It's all there, all of our itineraries, and the specifications for the ship. How it's so easy, because Fiji always flies straight into Nandi, where we leave from Vancouver, San Francisco, LA, and possibly some new ports in the future. So it's not hard. It's an overnight flight. You arrive in, all good. Board the check-in right there, 15 minutes from the airport. Transfer to the ship, and off you go. And you, in the first afternoon of almost all of our itineraries, you go to our private island. So we're the only cruise line in the South Pacific
That's
with our own
expedition.
of any cruise line in the southern hemisphere with our own private island, and the only expedition line with our own private island. But the beauty of our private island is it's a very natural experience. So it's thatched bures, coral planting, beautiful. I mean, it's 500 acres of coral, aqua blue water.
And if they want really personal attention and they want to get really
Yep.
deep into the company, what emails do you have for them?
Well, so it's the website is www.captaincookcruisesfiji.com, and the email's so easy as well, fiji@captaincooccruisesfiji.com. That's it. And we're, of course, on all the socials as well. And we'd love to hear from everyone because we think we're doing something really special and unique here, and we really want to share that. It's groundbreaking, it's new. It should be on everyone's bucket list. They just don't know it exists yet. So get busy.
What I love is your history in the region, which is why you were able to have such access to the locals, that the trust was there, and that trust gets passed on. The guest gets to experience the full immersion.
Yeah, and it's such an important part of what we do. We talk about sustainability these days. I think sustainability is just a given for most of the people that travel. They might not go into their travel advisor and say, I'm only going somewhere with sustainable practices. They just think it's going to be there. Well, we think that's the way it is.
You didn't even plan it any other way.
Well, we wouldn't. But for what we do, we want to go way further than that. So since 2012, we've had an Ocean Ambassador program in Fiji. Every time we go to a beach, we pick up rubbish off the beach. We have our Ocean Ambassador with his T-shirt on, goes around, picks it up, and most of the time the passengers go with him, and they love it. They're contributing, and I mean, Fiji beaches are very clean anyway. There's not a lot of rubbish, but it's a really lovely...
There is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty good, but... and then we have our coral planting, we have our monitoring programs for marine life, we have our visiting scientist program where we have globally renowned marine scientists coming in. We've got one coming up with the paramount linguistics expert for the Pacific is going to be on board. So some really interesting additional resources to draw on. But the fundamental part of it is our fabulous Fijian hospitality crew and expedition team. My hairs stand on end talking about them because they're just so... When you walk on the ship, you feel like you're walking into their village.
Yeah. Well, that's the way
And we call it Captain Cook family. There's a word in Fijian called vavale, which means family. So we call it we say the Captain Cook vavale, the Captain Cook family. Once you come on board, you become part of that.
My last question is the website that we gave them. Is there a separate portal for travel advisors, or is that where they go?
There is. You can actually get a login to go on. There's also an image library. There's all sorts of resources there.
They could send to their clients.
And the other thing that we have is a really great Instagram account, Facebook. So there's lots of resources to be able to see. And we've had some amazing photographers on recently. So we've got some new fabulous content we really love.
Well,
We love our American guests. We love it.
Well, I appreciate the steering that you're doing for the company, and I'm sure they will too. So make sure your guests know about this. Captain Cook Cruises, thank you for talking to us.
Thanks so much. A pleasure.
And this is
Bula Vinaka.
Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.